So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. Today on Answering Ask HR Questions because I'm banned, this is part of a weekly series where I go into the Ask HR subreddit of Reddit and kind of look through some of the HR questions that's there. I can't answer them because I'm banned, so we're going to talk about them here. The first one is a question about harassment out of Illinois. The next one is FMLA for two kids, two baby mamas. We'll talk about that one. That one is out of North Carolina. And then finally, we're going to talk through my wife's boss advised her to medicate our child against pediatrician's advice so she wouldn't leave work. We'll be talking about that one. That was out of Pennsylvania. All right, so let's start with this question about harassment. Now, this one from Illinois asks, can managers file my harassment report without actually having my statement? And the answer to that question in and of itself is yes, but let's get into it. Recently, I had to have an investigation done due to how bad a coworker was treating me. They got some witnesses, but they did not take theirs because they were ill one day. And it says he refused to wait to get it, which I don't understand exactly what that means. Then he says the investigation is closed now, and he claims things have been handled. But how am I to know when my input wasn't even part of it? Is that even, quote, proper or legal? So it's a couple things. One, I'm not sure. In this scenario, this person has already given somewhat of a statement, right? They're able to make somewhat of an investigation. They got the person's statement, they got the person's witnesses. I don't know how much another additional statement would require because you've already filed your complaint. We've got multiple people that were present. So I don't know what, necessarily it would add to speak to you. However, yeah, it's bad protocol to do so. I think that you want to still continue to speak with the harassed, make sure that you can close it out, circle back with them, and make sure that they understand that they're cared for and that they'll be taken care of. Whether it wasn't proper, in my opinion, but it was legal. I mean, that's not, illegal in and of itself. There isn't a whole lot of rules surrounding this. I do think it's improper. It could lead to a lawsuit down the road. This one honestly cracks me up. Multiple kids in FMLA, South North Carolina, have an employee and they're an electrical contractor who has several girlfriends and two pregnant women within a month or two of each other. Small company. They give 2 weeks per year PTO for whatever purpose necessary. And this person is already, has bad attendance habits and has used up most of their PTO already. The question is, FMLA covers the time off for any unpaid PTO you would need. Does it also cover any unpaid time he takes for the second kid? And, okay, so one thing that the employer later says is that, it's a company of 8. So in this world, it doesn't really apply. FMLA doesn't apply. You need to have at least 50 employees within a 75-mile radius. It doesn't apply. But in this scenario, if it did, if it applied, then yes, the person would be allowed up to 12 weeks over the course of a year, depending on when the year starts. And this would be covered under FMLA. But for this particular employer, he is not. In North Carolina, doesn't have any specifics, but in other states, different rules may apply. Finally, this one is something out of Pennsylvania. Wife's boss advised her to medicate our child against pediatrician's advice so she wouldn't leave work. Wife works in a daycare. Daughter was running a high fever and told them to go to the ER. The wife's director said, give her children's Tylenol and move her to the baby room. You can't leave work right now. We're short staffed. This can't be legal, right? And I mean, yeah, assuming this doesn't qualify for FMLA, which it's unlikely that it does, and assuming that there are no other laws involved, such as paid sick leave or something like that, paid family leave, you know, yeah, it's legal. And I mean, medicating our child against pediatrician's advice is not particularly illegal. It's maybe bad medical advice, but it isn't particularly illegal. And I think that, the question really is, do you want to live in a country where something like this is legislated? I ask this question quite frequently because there's always questions surrounding HR and, oh, this has to be legal or this has to be illegal. Why is this allowed, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the cases, or the use cases in these cases, are pretty specific and pretty narrow, such that the law has to be almost over, totally encompassing in everything we do and say. And I just don't personally want to live in a country like that. Let me know if you do or don't in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.